You're listening to the Nerd to Know Media Network. Join us at nerdtoknowmedia.com.
Broadcasting from the Blanchistan Center, this is Phoenix FM.
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together to bitch about movies and share pornography with one another.
According to the Nerd Index, you should be upside down in a junior high toilet around the clock.
This is
We'll do it live! Time goes in, time goes out. Never miscommunication.
It's over 9,000! My name is Foxy.
The balls are in there. Do a barrel roll. Don't face me, bro. It's a trap. I'm a firing mama. Time to Hey, Charlie, wake up! Oh, God, oh, man.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Nerd to Know Basis. Here with Kian.
Hello.
And Dara.
Ahoy.
Ahoy, hoy.
How are we doing, boys?
Good. We are good. So I've been away for a while. I've had like a 2-week vacation. It's like super good. So I don't know if shows went out or not. Did we do a show last week?
No, we didn't. You gave us the week off.
Not
that anyone who's listening to this will know.
I don't even like know what day it is now. Most of the time.
No. I think the last show we had was me and Kian going off on a Star Trek ramble.
Oh, fair. Actually, I listened to that show. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, good, because we have more Netflix drama to bring in today. So
wonderful.
I'm psyched to have that continuity of thought.
While it is on our mind, do you want to bring us in with Netflix drama, Kian?
Well, not Netflix drama as such, but I've been watching Hawkeye, and before we get into the meat of that, Hawkeye has... I won't name specific characters, but like the internet's on fire about it. Hawkeye has basically opened the door to characters that were created by Marvel Netflix rejoining the Marvel universe, played by those
Daredevil.
Characters. What?
Daredevil.
Well,
Ian won't name names. Dara will.
I mean, it wasn't like. It wasn't like.
We could have just danced around it for 15 minutes, but I guess
it wasn't like the top story of every geek website for the past 4 days.
The old civic reunion train doesn't come by here anymore.
But no, hold on. Before we get into that, I just want to say, it's funny, right? So Spotify Wrapped was on over the last week, right? And I was looking to Spotify, like just kind of going through it, and like my 5th most listened to podcast is Nerd to Know Media. Not because I listen to myself like I'm vain, but when I'm not on the show, I just like listening to you guys. So I always listen to the shows on there. So I'm just like, well, this looks really bad. So I don't know if you guys know that. It's not that I'm listening to myself, because I don't, but I do.
I do.
Shows. Do you listen to the show? I edit the shows, so like once I edit them, I'm kind of like, I don't listen to them again, but like I actually will sit down and listen to the shows that you guys do solo. I'm like, oh, that's a fun show that I wasn't on. That's great.
That's lovely.
Yeah, it's true. But I just wanted to bring it up because I was just like, that'd be good to know. But when I was listening to it, it's like number 5, Nerd to Know Media. I'm like, Jesus, without context, that looks like.
No, I'm more
really
interested in what 1 to 4 are.
Oh, I don't know what the order is, but it's like conspiracy podcasts,
right.
Crowder, and some wrestling podcasts, and that's it.
See, that's what I love about Spotify Wrapped, though. It's like the episode of The Simpsons where they're doing The Shining, and Marge walks up to the typewriter and she's like, "This will give me a window into his madness." And that seems to be everyone's reaction to their own Spotify Wrapped this year.
To be fair, my Spotify Wrap mainly was the 2 top bands were Inflamed and Children About Him, and I'm like, of course. Like it's
mine. I like everyone's like, man, I wasn't expecting that. Mine's pretty much exactly what you expect. Just a lot of Gajira and a lot of Trivium. And that's been my year.
Actually, I was listening to the new Arch Enemy song there today, and I just walked out of the room because it was on YouTube, and then a song came on. I'm like, this song's pretty good. I was away from the computer, and then I'm like, geez, that really sounds like Trivium. And then I'm like, I bet it's Trivium. I walked in, and it was the new Trivium, the Phalanx.
Yes,
That's a really good tune. It's
The
really,
new-
really good.
we're okay. If we're gonna make this a metal podcast for like a hot minute, that new Trivium album absolutely slaps wall to wall.
It's really good.
And
Really,
like
really
on
good.
top of the fact that it is like a fantasy novel run through a Court of the Dragons just goes so hard. Yo, okay, no, but like if you are nerdy and into heavy metal, this is kind of your jam. It's so good.
It's like
As if there was any other type of heavy metal person.
that's a very good point. That's a very, very, very good point. It's funny, we were doing the All Ireland Metal thing there during the week because we had to give the money to Bernardo's, which is a children's charity. And
What a time to be alive.
yeah, well, it was weird. It was during the
Metal
storm.
saves the children.
Well, I don't know if it'll save
Hey,
the
listen,
children, but it'll
Kids
definitely
saved
make it
Santa
better.
once.
That's true.
I
That's
did
true.
it. But anyway, yeah, we went in and we gave the check, and it was like 200, $2,000 or something like that, $2,500. But actually, it was exactly $2,500. And we were like, oh yeah, grand. And it was during the AWS downtime, which we'll talk about, I suppose, later. And she's just like, yeah, a lot of metalheads seem to be either kind of nerdy or into computers, and we're like, yeah, that's pretty much
That's
how it is,
us.
all right. That's pretty much how it is, all right. I don't know anyone that isn't one or both of those things who's into metal.
I just love how all these things that calls like public scares in the 80s are now so twee, like, and safe. Like Dungeons and Dragons was exactly the same. Like, you know,
I
one
still
of
haven't
Tom
played-
Hanks's breakthrough roles in acting was in like a movie demonizing Dungeons and Dragons,
What
and
movie
like
was this?
how it turned Tom Hanks's character into like a serial killer.
What movie is
If you
this? I
want-
need to see it.
It's called, I think it's called Mazes and Monsters. If you want like a good So Bad It's Good movie, that's a really good pick.
Oh man, I think that's
I've heard about that. I
the
just didn't
one.
realize that was Tom Hanks.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Oh.
know, because they've basically, he's the only reason anyone's heard of it now, because it was before he got big, you know. No pun intended.
Ah, I love
Um,
it. I love it. I love it. I was actually going to make the exact same pun, but
Ah!
you beat me to it by literally a second.
It's absolutely too late in the evening for this nonsense.
Oh, it's brilliant. But I'm totally going to add that to my watch list because it was like I was watching the South Park post COVID thing today, and I think it's part of the season because it was an hour-long episode, and it's like it just kind of ends on a cliffhanger.
Well, they do kind of serialized arcs now, don't they, in South Park?
I think this is a serialized arc, but it's actually fantastic. So obviously, there's no way to watch it in Ireland, unless you theoretically load up
here we
a
go.
computer program that allows you to theoretically get material from the internet for educational purposes, of course. So I'm gonna add that Tom Hanks movie to my list.
Speaking of, we should really reach out to say ExpressVPN for a sponsorship.
we totally should, and not theoretically at all. You totally should use.
There's the
ExpressVPN
movie
for that.
poster, by the way.
I
know
just
the
found it.
listeners
The movie
won't get
poster
the
actually-
benefit of it.
The movie
Oh my
poster is
God.
way better than it has any right to be.
Okay, so for radio listeners, because this is a radio podcast first and foremost, you need to Google that because holy hell, it's as bad as you think it is. But no, seriously, ExpressVPN, that's a good call, Kev, because I actually do use them. Funny story about ExpressVPN. So when Brexit came in, everyone was like, "Oh no, I can't use my Amazon account. What's going on?" Like they can't use their Amazon Prime. It's like use a VPN. And I actually discovered that you can use any VPNs on the web or on mobile, but if you want to actually build a router, or if you're using a router, very few VPNs actually allow you to set that up correctly and actually will trick the website into doing what you wanted to do. But ExpressVPN actually allows you to do that. So my router for using Prime and unrestricted, and for using the iPlayer, which should be free because it should be part of reparations to Ireland. You know,
You're not wrong.
no, it literally should. There's no reason for it to not be free for us because it's like, come on,
Just something. Listen, you shot Big Mick. Give us the iPlayer.
It's like you killed 1 million of us and you sent the other 1 million around the world. Come on, the iPlayer should be free.
The iPlayer is reparations for what you did to Jim Flanagan.
or
Jim Larkin.
The RTE player as a punishment.
Oh, jeez. You know what? Here's the thing, right? So that's that. So if you're having that problem, get the ExpressVPN. It's totally worth it. We're totally going to hit them up for sponsorship.
The router.
Oh, he's self-destructing.
The router thing does everything because I've used no shade here. I've been using Nord.
That's okay.
But I use a lot. I cast a lot of stuff through Chromecast, and Nord just does not cover that.
No, it doesn't. I'll tell you what, Kev, I'll actually talk you through how to set up that router because it's actually really easy, very straightforward. It's about $30 to get one. They're like little home routers.
Yeah,
and you can it pretty much works very much the same way if you set up a hotspot as well. And you can use them for loads of different things, but I'll walk you through it later on. But yeah, so you can actually do it, and that's how you get around it. But what was interesting, I was going somewhere, and I've lost my thread. Where were we going before that?
Well, a hot minute and 10 ago, we were talking about Hawkeye, and I knew this was going to happen because you two came to me and said, I have no topics, and I said, no problem, I have two. And I knew that I wouldn't need them.
And can we check the rap sheet? Was ExpressVPN and Mazes and Monsters on your topics? No, I do not think it was.
Oh yes, I remember.
Oh
now.
look, I'm happy to go with the current.
Oh, what was that? No,
I knew this is what it was going to be.
Kean, was the new Trivium album not on that as well?
I remember now. So the RTE player, right? So the RTE player is one of the worst things ever made, except when it plays ads for Kerrygold, which I don't need an ad for Kerrygold because you buy Kerrygold like you drink water. It's just a necessity. The same with like Avon milk. Like you don't need them. You don't need to advertise these things in Ireland, right? So anyway, here's the only thing that works, except on a Roku stick. The Roku stick just seems to magically work the RTE player, so you can watch Crime Call in high definition with a Roku box. It's the only place you can do it.
What sort of sorcery did Roku have to commit to?
I don't know. It's the only time it ever works. It's the only time it ever works.
Do Rokus run on the same strain of potato that seems to be running the RTE player?
No, look, as I said, when you try to use the RTE player for anything ever on any other device, the only thing that works are ads for Kerrygold. That's it. So
with one asterisk, and that being when the toy show is on. Seems to be the only time I have never had an issue with the iPlayer.
Really?
Any other time. Big problem. Tried to watch the general election results. Couldn't do it. It was a slideshow. Toy show? Fine.
That's because they turned on.
You know people are going to tune in though.
No, that's because they turned on the other servers. They're like, quick, turn on the extra server out the back of RTE there. And it's just like it's one of those big generators.
It's just unleashing a legion of hamsters on wheels.
Oh, dial up, surely. Like,
here's the thing. The thing about RTE is I just don't understand how they're right beside the server farms out on the south side. How can they not just ring up Amazon and go, listen, lads, can we have like 4 more servers? But that brings us nicely into our next topic. So I don't know if you folks were on the internet on Tuesday or Monday night and noticed that every website that you tried to use was gone down.
I had heard about this.
What's this?
It was my one night of the week where I was not on the internet because I was busy crafting an imaginary world for some of my closest and dearest. But I did hear about this.
Well, Kev, if you had have been in the cyber world, you would have been very disappointed because everything from Disney to Amazon itself was down.
I also heard Netflix was included.
Do you know why?
Amazon server farms got shot, wasn't it?
See, here's the thing. So what have we been saying a very long time? When people scream about Amazon, take down the data centers, they don't realize that everything runs on Amazon data center web farms because they do. Because it's really cheap and it's really easy to do and it's very quick and very sustainable. Well, not environmentally, but I mean, actually, connection-wise, it's very sustainable.
Yeah, that's kind of the secret. Bezos isn't sitting on a golden throne hovering 10 inches out of space because you're buying toilet seats off.
People don't realize that.
He's that rich because he pretty much owns the internet.
He literally invented the idea of cloud computing. Here's the thing that people don't understand, right? And we're gonna get deep for a second. When people are talking about, don't buy on Amazon, I'm like, listen, that makes no money. That makes nothing. Like, that's a fraction. What makes the serious money for Bezos is the fact that every single website, every single streaming service you use is using cloud computing that is owned by Bezos. The serious money Amazon makes is because every single website you go to is on AWS, which is Amazon Web Services. Because so there's two other ones. There's Google's, which is terrible, and there's Amazon, and there's Microsoft, which is even worse again. So that's where the money's coming from, and so on the one side, it's like, look, it is really cheap. It's very, very quick. It's usually very stable, but there is a single point of failure. If it goes down, it goes down. And it went down everywhere, including, and it was so bad, Amazon itself, the actual website went down as well.
Ooh,
so
near Christmas as well.
Well, now I know a couple of people who work in AWS, and Tuesday was not fun for them. Tuesday was not fun. But this is like when Fastly went down a couple of months ago. Now, Fastly is a DDoS protection website, so it's called okay. So when a website gets hit with loads of traffic, it can go down, and it's called a denial of service attack. Fastly is like a barrier that kind of loads the traffic in place, so it kind of keeps it like a snapshot, so it's always up, it's always there. Now that's in front of hundreds of thousands of websites, and that the actual data center that runs that product for the world went down and took down most of the internet as well a couple of weeks ago. So this is the problem with like single points of failure.
This was separate from the Facebook damage.
I was going to bring that up,
Completely
because that was
separate.
only about a month or two ago.
Yeah, so that was completely separate to Facebook. So again, but similar kind of thing. Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, all on the same bank of servers. For convenience and for scalability, like it's very cool that they're all together. But when they go down, they all go down, and that's what seems to be happening here. Now, this was far more concerning because it wasn't like one company went down. It wasn't like it was just one company set of products. It was everything from Netflix to Disney to WWE Network to even a small little company or anything like that.
Everything any website that is hosting through a subserver of a subserver of a subserver hosted on Amazon.
Yeah.
God.
Well, here's the thing. Amazon Prime, the reason why Amazon Prime is so cheap is because they own the web servers.
Yeah.
You're only paying for that percentage, but like you can, it's scary and it's crazy, but I don't think this is going to be the last outage that we're going to have on this level. I think the next one's probably going to be even more.
Like that's it. Like mentioning the Fastly one, I didn't actually know about that. And I think when we talked about the Facebook one, a question like I thought we brought up was like, is this going to be the start of something rolling on? And apparently, yeah.
Well,
this is how we live now.
Well, see, they're not even malicious. They're not like cyber attacks.
No.
That's what's interesting. They're just
false.
Okay. Well, they're actually in the data center. That's the thing. They're actually just hardware faults. The Fastly one, the data center just lost power and went down.
Problems coming from inside the base.
Literally, and that's what kind of happened. And you had to go on and turn everything back on physically. The Facebook one was a routing table misconfiguration. So basically, someone typed a 0 instead of a 1 and took down.
That still astonishes me.
It's very easily done. And again, wasn't a hack. It was literally someone just typing the wrong thing into a computer. That was it, and that took down the whole thing. This one is a bit more interesting because I'm not sure exactly if it was a hack or not. Now, from what I've been exposed to. I don't think it is. Doesn't look like it was. It looks like it was just the data center went down, and he had to roll stuff over onto, because usually certain websites have a thing called disaster recovery or failsafe, and they just it's called rolling over. So they roll over onto a new bank of servers. However, that's expensive. A lot of people don't do that. So places just didn't do it, and they stayed down for a couple of hours, which is also very concerning. So I'd imagine this week was a lot of people going, we need to actually have our disaster recovery better than it was, because this can happen again.
So wait, let me get this straight. All the streaming services went down on the same day that a hurricane hit?
Nothing got to do with the hurricane, though.
I know it's got nothing to do, but I'm just saying people are stuck at home and their Netflix ain't working.
Oh, yeah, it's a fair point.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's
this is
like,
why...
this, I don't even think like this wasn't even localized to Ireland. So this would have been international.
This was global, yeah.
Oh no, I'm just imagining a scenario where the TV isn't working.
Oh, some people would have gone
to the trampolines blow in the wind,
Oh yeah, some people would have been at each other's throats. That's...
And what I'll say here, gentlemen, is this is why, as great streaming services are, and they are great and they're handy, physical media or a hard drive, a 4 terabyte hard drive, 6 terabyte, 9 terabyte of movies or TV shows are still worth having.
What you're saying is that this is why I should keep my my standard definition DVD box set of the Cube movie trilogy on hand.
Oh, absolutely. That should be
my Cube.
That should be hoisted and glorified. like my copies, like my entire box set collection of Hellraiser, which those movies get more and more funny as you watch. The first 3 are rather disgusting, and watching them together actually did make me sick one time. But after that, it gets really funny. Did you know that Henry Cavill was in a Hellraiser movie where, Pinhead is in it, but the bad guy is actually a Nokia 3310. Not a joke.
Oh, there's no taking that down. Those things are indestructible.
That is true. And that's the thing. They bury him alive with the Nokia 3310s and it still works perfectly. I'm like, yep, that's... And he can play Snake too.
What you got there? You've crossed the point of fantasy. You got cold hard facts there, buddy.
Exactly. You're good. You're good. No, I have a smartwatch and the battery dies after like 9 hours or something like that. Nokia 3310, years without charging.
Oh, mine probably still works. The one I got for my communion.
Absolutely would still work. You could throw it off a brick. And I had a friend.
I have a key, and that was only 2 weeks ago.
I had a friend.
You're older than me.
Do you remember the WAP phones? The Motorola WAP phones?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Those things were also indestructible. I had a friend who would throw his out in front of a car, like in front of cars or whatever, or drop them off bridges to see. And then we were like, 11. And he just wanted to see how much damage it could do to work. This thing was thrown in front of cars. It was thrown off bridges. It was thrown to a river. Still worked perfectly. It was actually unbelievable.
I'm just concerned about this person throwing what is effectively a rock at a car.
No, he threw it underneath the car. Now, to be fair...
Did the car survive?
This is what I'm thinking as an adult. I'm like, man, that car could have flipped.
Like, I mean... It's like the Marvel universe would be the same if Thor's hammer was just a Nokia 3410 on a stick.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. You still have to be worthy to lift it, like. But yeah, so that's why the internet went down this week. So if you were watching Disney Plus, you'd be very disappointed. But when it came back, I managed to watch Disney Plus and watch Hawkeye. Keane,
what
a segue. There you go.
It only took 25 minutes.
I haven't brought up Star Wars yet.
And we're not going to.
We're not going to.
All right, well then let's go in reverse alphabetical order. Kev, have you seen Hawkeye?
No,
we will not do that then.
We will not do that.
No, it's something I'd mentioned. I think the last time I was on, which might have been before Hawkeye launched. It was the day Hawkeye had launched.
Yes, the what was it called? The Cowboy Bebop episode. I was hyped for it. You had anti-hype, and we said we'd come back in a few weeks.
That was it. You tided me over on it a bit, and I think I'm still going to watch it. I have not had like the drive to watch it that any of the other 3 Marvel shows had for me.
That's fair.
I'm putting that fault solely on Jeremy Renner.
Oh, Jeremy Renner's a dote. Leave him alone.
He's a weird dude, Kian. He's a weird
Oh, he's
dude.
probably weird, but he's nice.
How is he a weird dude?
Have you heard about the Jeremy Renner app?
No,
What?
but I want to.
Jeremy Renner has his own app that is effectively Instagram, but only Jeremy Renner can post on it.
I love it.
And you pay money to basically give Jeremy Renner likes.
Okay.
Why?
You got me.
Like Jeremy Renner isn't even really that interesting. Why would you want to?
Listen, I'm not questioning. I've just accepted, and I'm just gonna judge thus forth. But to bring it back, I'm still not got that like kind of excitement. I'm probably
hold
gonna
on, Kev. No, wait, we need to go back to this.
No, I don't. I'm giving you all the information. There's nothing.
I've just googled it. He created it in 2017, then Trolls forced him to shut it down.
Oh, it's gone. Oh, I'm not upset.
I will defer to the Polygon article, which is entitled "The Jeremy Renner app was too good for this world."
Hold on, I need to look. Why did he create his own? Like,
to get more money for reposting his Instagram posts. That's that's the blood, because that's all it was. It was what he was posting on Instagram, but in a him only feed, and you had to pay money to make comments.
Oh my god, this is real. This is real. Why?
But yeah,
we're not done here.
Darren, you've got to let this go.
I can't. I just found out about it.
Will I send you a few articles?
I have them here. I can't believe this exists. No, there's a question here from the New York Times. Why does this exist? I don't understand.
To give Jeremy Renner your money. I don't know what the struggle here is.
See,
I think it's all very self-explanatory.
See, I'm disappointed, right? So apparently this was like developed for Paris Hilton and stuff like that as well, right? But and a company called EscapeX. So I thought like Jeremy Renner sat down with NetBeans and start coding, but he didn't, or Android Studio. So I'm sad that he didn't code it himself. That's what I thought this was.
Jeremy Renner, if you're listening, I'm a fan. Dara can do computery things. Give us a call.
We'll make you a new app, better, stronger.
It's been closed down since 2019.
Yeah.
Which means there's an employment vacancy.
Which means think of all the stuff you can post about. You can talk about Endgame, talk about Hawkeye.
I think that probably was after that Bourne movie.
Oh yeah. To be fair, the Bourne movie wasn't actually that terrible.
Arrival.
Was he in Arrival?
Arrival was
He was
years
like the
ago.
second lead.
Yeah, but like that was Amy Adams' show.
It was. My brain.
Oh yeah, but like I'm gonna defer to Dennis. How to pronounce his name? Villeneuve. Like he was saying glowing things about Renner because they had really hard time casting like a Hollywood leading man who wouldn't try and upstage Amy Adams. And like honestly, finding at that level an actor who is generous enough to not get in the way, that is a really hard thing to find these days. And I think it's why he gets overshadowed quite a lot in the Avengers stuff too, To
be fair, that's Jeremy Renner's like sweet spot though.
Like he's somehow like an A-list actor that just kind of
is completely forgettable. He's completely forgettable. He's the most forgettable. Like,
he keeps getting franchises taken off him. Like he was supposed to be Bourne, then he wasn't. He was for a while. He was set up to be the new Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. That's gone.
Yeah, that's gone.
Like they keep setting him up as like a bridesmaid type thing to these franchises that never. I feel like he's starting to get as bad as Matt Smith as far as that kind of nearly and then not type
but
stuff,
the difference between him and Matt Smith is he's actually on screen. Matt Smith does the whole filming and then they just cut him.
Yeah,
it's so much worse for Matt Smith.
And Matt Smith is memorable.
He is. Like, look, the thing about Jeremy Renner is like, I think, and that may be why Hawkeye is a hard sell, because his whole thing is he's there.
But
and
that's the joke of the show.
It is the joke of the show, and that's one thing that I actually I do like the show because it knows exactly what it is and it gets that. Where it's like you're just there. It's like I also appreciate the Broadway show in the first
Oh
episode.
yes. What was
that
it? It was like Hamilton for Captain America.
it was brilliant. It was brilliant.
What was it called? It was something with like an accent point, like Steve or something like that.
I don't know.
It was like Rogers the musical or something like that. Something very like.
It was very good, and you know what? I could actually like see that being a real thing. Here's the thing: it probably also was a snide jab at the Spider-Man musical that Bono wrote.
If I've only
No, because there were people in the audience and Steve.
no, there were people in the audience of Spider-Man. It's just there wasn't injuries at Steve.
You know what, right? I want to see this U2 musical. I really do. So if someone has like a bootleg copy, like let me know, because I know you can get like
What, the Spider-Man one?
Yeah, there's highlights of it on YouTube.
Oh, I've got the soundtrack album.
No, I don't want the soundtrack. I want to see it. I want to see these injuries happen. I mean,
you want to see the injuries are easy enough to find. Watching the actual show, that's the tricky thing.
No, I'm assuming they happen during the show. I want to see the whole thing.
That show ran for like 8 months.
I know there has to be footage somewhere.
But like
I
there
think
was
it's
only
still running. It's at one
No, it only ran for like I think a year or so. Because I only watched like a YouTube documentary on it the other day.
Kev, will you please link me to this?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
And my only point of contact with it, apart from listening to it, was the Lindsay Ellis video on it, and I think they said in that it has to sell out for 10 years to make it every night to make back its money.
Yeah, like it was never going to be financially viable. It just it sold out consistently for like I think a year, like half a year-ish, out of sheer curiosity because all the injuries not happened to the screeners. This thing was screening for like a year.
Oh,
yes.
I can do more than that. Like they rewrote the whole plot in the screeners too. Like in the original plot of the musical, like Green Goblin was supposed to die halfway through it, and then it's all about the Greek god Ariadne.
That's it. Spider-Man gets his powers from the Greek spider god.
Who like has a fashion parade and wants to like eat him or something, and they just completely scrapped it and just used the plot of the movie.
Why is everything with Spider-Man that isn't directly written by Marvel the weirdest thing imaginable?
Define Marvel.
So you know about the James Cameron Spider-Man movie, right?
Oh yeah. But let's say for the benefit of the listeners, like this is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
For the benefit of me, because I do not know this.
Oh, Dara, take it away.
So James Cameron in the 90s wanted to do a Spider-Man movie, which no joke, he had one written, and apparently it's all body horror.
Oh.
And it's like, what are you doing?
Remind me, was it Leonardo DiCaprio was going to be?
He wanted Leonardo DiCaprio to play
Spider-Man, and was it Schwarzenegger was going to be Doc Ock?
I think so, yeah. I think Schwarzenegger was there, all right.
Now, this is around the same time Nicolas Cage was going to be in a Superman movie.
Yeah, this was like...
So things were just going to happen regardless of what anyone thought.
Yeah, this was like 96. You know, it was weird. And then I think all this weirdness, once Batman and Robin came out, they're like, whoa, we need to dial this back a bit.
There's like a year's difference between the movie Steel and the movie Blade, where everything transformed overnight.
And things just got better.
Things got better. No, I think because the campiness and just the weirdness that like, right, that doesn't sell. We need to kind of roll it back a bit. And then Blade was like the perfect kind of like... And
then Wesley Snipes came up here about people trying to ice skate uphill. And it was just a better world to live in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which actually, while we're on the topic of Spider-Man, we got a lovely little nugget of information with a trailer for the next Into the Spider-Verse movie.
Oh, yeah.
Dara, please, how excited are you for Spider-Man 2099 to show his face?
Oh, man. Well, I know Bryn is losing his mind because he loves Miguel O'Hara. Like, loses his mind about how much he loves Miguel O'Hara. Personally, I also love Miguel O'Hara. So I'm like, I cannot wait to actually see him, you know, in some fashion. And hopefully it opens the door for him to come into the MCU proper, which will probably happen eventually, I'd say.
Well, I mean, you have a multiverse film coming out with Spider-Man this Christmas.
Exactly, yeah, which we will get into because that's going to be...
No, can we talk about Hawkeye? We haven't actually talked about Hawkeye.
When are they going to get to the fireworks factory?
Flying off the cliff. Finish your 2099 thing. I feel like I'm a teacher at this point.
No, when are they going to get to the fireworks factory? That's what's going on here.
My God, we still have Doctor Who to get to. For goodness.
Oh, I do believe I'm getting the vapors.
Oh my god. Okay. Spider-Man 2099. Cannot wait to be in Spider-Verse. Let's go back to Hawkeye because
Thank you. I'll just say, because I feel it's my last shot at it.
Before not to derail this, no, intercontext of Hawkeye. I haven't seen it, but I'm actually not too worried about spoilers. That's just kind of put that groundwork there. So don't dance around to find a point.
All right,
Keen, before you get into it though, right? No, it is right. I swear. It is right. I swear. Okay, so I'm kind of confused about watching the show, right? So for the listeners, it follows Hawkeye after Endgame. So Nat is dead, and it's about him trying to basically hang out with his family, right? But at the same time, it follows Kate Bishop, right? Now, why is Kate Bishop? She's not related to Hawkeye, is she?
No.
Right. Explain that for the people who may have not read the comics.
Okay, so
I don't know. I didn't read Hawkeye comics, so I don't know.
I did, and I love them to bits. The tone is very similar to this. But anyway, like the artwork on the credits is all stolen from the comic run that's based on. But anyway, Kate Bishop is in the comics one of the founding Young Avengers, which Marvel definitely is kind of seeding for the future. But basically, she, both in the comic and the show, she is a fan of Hawkeye, but likely his only fan. And she is a sort of Bruce Wayne style heiress who wants to be an archer. And basically, I won't get into the mechanics of how they get together in the show and all that, because, you can watch it. But like, basically, she is incredibly way too enthusiastic about Hawkeye as a hero. And Hawkeye himself is not. He is a schlub who just wants to go home and sit in a chair. And I think it's a winning dynamic.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. I don't know. I like, as I said, I've only watched the first episode. I'm on the second episode now, and I'm just kind of confused. I'm like, wait, I thought this was about family.
Actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because the first episode, it's a bit CW-ish. Is that the term?
Yeah,
it's a little bit like Batwoman, which initially kind of put me off. But once you get the two of them together, it's golden.
Yeah,
like there's things I want to talk about in episode 2 that I can't, and I'm annoyed about it.
For reference, are we talking grim CW or horny CW?
Horny CW.
Okay. Just
I wasn't even going to say it in that way, just in the respect of like it reminds me of Smallville. Everything's
it's worse than Smallville. The first episode is like bad Flash.
Well, in any case, I didn't really like the first episode either. But once you get them together, with the dog as well, it becomes a lot punchier. Like there's like a 5-minute car chase that's all done in like one camera angle and uses all these like with a camera thing in the car rotating as all the stuff goes down around them and they hang out the windows and stuff.
But why are they hanging out together though? That's what I don't understand.
Well, because I mean, I suppose if we can't really, it's been out 3 weeks. So, if we know from Avengers Endgame that Hawkeye went off a deep end for a while and became Ronin, who was like a ninja who murdered lots of mafia. And
good. Right. They're addressing the ninja murder. Good. Yes. Got it.
And because Kate Bishop, played brilliantly by, I think it's Haley Steinfeld, she basically is like attacked at some sort of secret auction, and she puts on the costume to like fight off the bad guys and defend herself. And now actual mafia people think she's the Ronin that did all those killings. And so Hawkeye is trying to get his suit back off her to protect her. And at the same time, they think she is the real Ronin. And now, because she is a big Hawkeye fan, she has glued herself to him. And all he wants to do is go home for Christmas. But he keeps getting into continuous scrapes. So it's a bit of a kind of, it reminds me a lot of those like kind of buddy comedies, where they're literally just trying to get onto a train and go home, and things just keep getting in the way. Like LARPers, fighting LARPers comes into it. At one point, to get his suit back, he has to like join in like a cosplay LARP type thing and like do slow motion epic fights with a plastic sword with them.
Oh my god!
Like,
Okay. This sounds like the best show ever.
It's
Okay,
great. It's like you think side by side with like the Falcon and Winter Soldier, where they're dealing with like themes of international espionage and immigration, and meanwhile Hawkeye is like putting on this plastic armor and fighting LARPers in a park.
But that's way more fun than Boring and the Boring Soldier.
Well, I mean, like, there's a place for everything, but yeah, there's just something wonderfully tired about Hawkeye as a character. He literally just wants to go home and make a gingerbread house, and the Mafia and Kate Bishop keep getting in his way and insisting he must be a superhero. I really like that sort of disconnect with the enthusiasm, you know.
So is the costume at the auction, or does she just have it?
It's basically they got the costume, sword, and a few other run-y things from the ruins of Avengers compound, and they were selling them like on the black market or something like that.
Oh, so it ties into the whole thing in New York, basically.
Yeah. Basically, because I mean, I can't give away like the whole plot of the episode.
You can go on.
Yeah, well, then basically, because the Kate Bishop comes from this like fancy heiress family, like, you know, so she has to go to all these like functions and pretend to listen to boring rich people, and her mum's getting married to some mustachioed weirdo who's also rich. So again, very sort of, if you could imagine a young Bruce Wayne type stuff, where she just wants to kind of do the superhero thing, and instead she sort of has to perform in public and all that kind of stuff. It's just I'm really enjoying this whole show, and it's like it's got like a nice steady pace. It doesn't feel like those other Marvel-y things where it's like a movie chopped into 6 bits.
Yeah, which was a massive problem with everything except for Loki.
And I would say except for WandaVision felt like it belonged on TV. This is similar. You get about a half an hour's episode every week, and it's just enough to make you feel full and want to find out what happens next. But I feel like we should also address what we brought up earlier, which is that this is starting to open the door for Netflixy Marvel characters coming back in, because there is an allusion to Wilson Fisk. And from what I could tell, talking to some of the staff at Geek Ireland, they actually did use a clip of Vincent D'Onofrio's voice just to kind of solidify that. It may have been like an archive thing, but they still picked his voice.
They did the same thing in the Eternals with Blade, the new Blade as well.
Oh yeah, but Blade, like, you know, is a new character coming in. But
I know, but they still did the same thing where they didn't show him; they just used his voice.
Oh yeah, but I think this is. I mean, that was a great. I had to Google who it was after I saw that film. But I think it's big in the respect that they could have easily just recast Kingpin, and they've chosen not to. Same with Daredevil.
Yeah, it's like Charlie Cox is just a phenomenal Daredevil, and it'd be wrong to. I hope they keep the Jessica Jones.
Like that. No, that's that. Like that first series is actually perfect.
But also the what's his name? Doctor Who.
Purple Man.
Yeah, Purple Man. They need to keep Purple Man. They need to keep him as well because he's
dead.
Yeah, like that's
but multiverse.
I know that doesn't stop anyone in the universe.
Doctor Octopus is dead.
That's true. Yeah.
So is the Green Goblin. They can bring them back.
That's true. It's and to be honest, they'd be clever to do that now, because I read the original Young Avengers run, which had Kate Bishop and all that kind of thing. And if they are leaning into that, Jessica Jones was a huge factor.
She was,
in that team.
Yeah,
so that'd be a nice way of segueing her in without bringing in the adultness of it. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, you can always do that later on in movies and stuff, but like the Young Avengers, and Purple Man is such a cool villain. He's like the standout of like Marvel villains that aren't Marvel villains, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just think the fact that they're breaking their universe to kind of shoehorn in the X-Men and everything like that now as well. They might as well just connect it all up. And the closer we get now to Far From Home, I think we're going to start seeing some real stuff now, really soon.
I mean,
Some
I
real
feel
wacky
full,
nonsense.
frankly.
Yeah. You what, sir?
I feel full on Marvel, frankly. I don't want them to split the atom and bring in everything. I don't want it to become too crowded too quickly. I like Marvel when they pair up interesting characters. I don't like Marvel when there's 30 of them and they all don't get a minute to breathe, you know?
I don't think they're going to do that, but they do need to they need to fix the problem that exists.
There's a problem?
Well, yeah, like how do you can't really square the circle of sure, there was one with the Eternals as well. Where were you when all this stuff was happening?
I see. Okay. So retconning into their universe, right?
Yeah, like, and the only way they can kind of do it, like, for example, if the X-Men just show up, it's like, so you've been here the whole time and you never thought to show up once. You know, by breaking the multiverse up, it avoids the eternal problem. I'm gonna coin it the eternal problem.
Yeah.
Which the Eternals problem, which is literally that. It's like, all right, you're a hero and you didn't think to show up when the world was literally ending.
The planet's big.
Well, the universe was ending. The universe is big. You know what I mean? Like it's.
Look, if I had the power to stop Thanos, I'd still have to get on like a 10-hour flight.
Like, no, because remember the sling rings kind of you can just jump around.
Oh yeah, I suppose that's fair. Yeah.
So like, this is the problem. They've backed themselves into, and also they've gone as big as they can possibly go without bringing in Galactus. After bringing Galactus, that's really jumping the shark. The Eternals movie is kind of like as big as they could possibly go right now, without the reshuffle. So once they get the reshuffle, now we'll have the new status quo. And what they'll do, Kane, I think they will still have those buddy cop smaller shows, because I actually prefer, like, Loki's one of my favorite things that Marvel's ever done.
Oh, Loki was great, yeah,
because it's so small and focused. And you know, it's I think it's perfect for what you want, but there's no reason why you still can't do that. Like, okay, let's look at Spider-Man. Just take Spider-Man at a face value. There's no reason why you can't have a small Spider-Man Daredevil story as a TV show.
I mean, I think the dynamic would be slightly messed up because Charlie Cox is much older than Tom Holland. Like, their ages were comparable in the comics, but I could still see it working somehow. Yeah,
like, I mean, you can still. Well, you know, Iron Man and Spider-Man worked, and that was never something that was in the comics.
Oh, it was, yeah. In the run-up to the Civil War,
kind of.
Aunt May's house burned down, and they moved in.
And the last thing Spider-Man needs is another father figure.
Okay, but look, sorry, Spider-Man was about, but you know what I mean. Like, you can still take these.
Not in his origins. I get you with that. Yeah.
Like, but what I don't want to see, and I'm right there, Richie Kane. I don't want to see these big X-Men team up movies. I have no desire to see that. But what would be cool is small X-Force movie, maybe.
Sure, yeah.
That Gambit movie reworked to be something good. Magneto, they could do House of M even if they wanted to, as like a what if.
Marvel have been pretty careful to avoid big universe reshuffles so far. The biggest thing they've done is the blip.
That's because they're building up to this. You can really only reshuffle the universe once or twice, and this is the big one where they're actually going to kind of reshuffle everything. Because I do think they're building up to the Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom. I think that's what the big thing is now, where they're going, like, once they have Kang, that's your big bad guy.
Yeah.
But it allows them to bring in Doom.
Smart money seems to be on the Avengers Tower got sold in the first Spider-Man film, and people are saying that's going to be the Baxter Building.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I'd say tracks.
Yeah, I say that's or it might have got so in the new universe, the new continuity, when everything levels out, it's the Baxter Building. You know, like, it's because we don't know. Like, they're saying in Far From Home, someone's going to die, and that's probably going to be one or two of the Spider-Man.
I mean, we've got spares.
They do have spares, so it's probably going to be Andrew Garfield.
Just let Tobey Maguire go. He's bared this.
No, what we need is to reenact the like clock tower scene from Amazing Spider-Man 2, except Andrew Garfield is like the Gwen Stacy character, and the other Spider-Men are reaching for him.
You know what sucks though? I really like the Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man. I just thought the movie was let down by studio interference. Yeah. But I thought he was a pretty good Spider-Man. Terrible Peter Parker. You did not buy him for one moment as Peter Parker, but he was a good Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's funny actually, because you could say the same thing in reverse about Tobey Maguire, but the movies as structured didn't need Tobey Maguire to be an especially good Spider-Man, you know?
If you're able to swap them out where you have like Andrew Garfield being Spider-Man and Tobey Maguire being Peter Parker, there you go. You have a good mix of an adult Spider-Man. Or Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think his name is Tom Holland.
No, Tom. Look, controversially, I don't think we've seen Tom Holland be Spider-Man.
Get out.
As I don't know. I like.
Oh, I love him to bits. I think he's great.
I don't. He just comes off as Junior Iron Man to me.
I could see that, yeah, but like I think the thing that is a winning ingredient of Spider-Man is that he is like an underdog kid who has the pretense of being a superhero, but in actuality, his life is a mess. And I think the movies really struggle to reconcile Spider-Man being cool and Spider-Man being deeply vulnerable. And I think the Tom Holland one walked the line the best in that respect.
But like in they didn't really give him enough time to breathe in that sense, because like Civil War, look, him showing up in Civil War is like the coolest thing ever, and it still is, right? But it doesn't really give him time to breathe, because in Homecoming, it's like it walks that line, but then there's lots of Iron Man stuff in it which needed to be done, and I like Homecoming as a movie, but I suppose they kind of had to, and maybe they'll address it in the Origin series they're doing. But
there's like what is it, year one or something like that?
Yeah, there's something like that coming up, and they need to kind of square that circle. But apparently there is another Spider-Man trilogy coming out.
Yeah, well that's got the stank of Sony all over it.
We are going to have to cut the show there, guys. We are at time, unfortunately.
You are joking me.
Absolutely not.
This is what happens. You don't let me talk about Hawkeye for the first 45 minutes.
Poor Hawkeye.
No, we're never getting to the fireworks factory.
Well, we did get to we got outside the fireworks factory.
We got there, and it was a fine view for all the 5 minutes that we saw it. But for that is our wrap for the show this week. Is there anything either of you guys would like to plug before we go?
Kane?
Yeah, plug my Doctor Who reviews on Geek Ireland, because we didn't have time for it this week.
They do exist somewhere, not here.
I will plug The Matrix. I saw The Matrix in 4D, 4DX in Cineworld the other day. It was wonderful. It was a great experience. The only 4DX experience that was actually worthwhile going to. For example, when you're in The Matrix with Neo, when he starts experiencing how weird the world actually is, all the seats move.
Oh, very nice.
It's properly cool. It's the only good 4D experience I've ever had. Plus, it was scaled up as well. So, if you get a chance, go see The Matrix in 4D. It's totally worth your chance. And The Matrix is coming out very, very soon, and it's all we're going to be talking about for a solid month. So,
I'll get my Doctor Who talking at some point.
Oh, don't worry. We'll just need to.
I can wait.
I need to catch up. Actually, I'm falling behind.
Well, as always, you could find me over on YouTube at The Nancy Crew. Links are in the description for my Greek mythology themed D&D campaign, where we are having a ball and a blast at torturing our players. Until then, we will see you next week for another Nerd to Know basis. Goodbye.
Bye. Watch Hawkeye.
Thank you for listening to a Nerd to Know Media production.